Gecko, what's up, man? Missed you, really? Oh, thanks, man. Happy been? Mhm. Took some time away. I was setting up Sierra chart. Changing platforms was a nightmare, but here we are. Yeah, that's what I've been working on the last like 3, 4 weeks now. Took me a while. Looks solid. Yeah, I mean, I got everything in one screen, which helps. Life's good, man. How have you been? You know, the Yankee is on a tear right now. No more Discord. I just haven't posted. No one's there. There's no engagement, so I don't know. I'll post there, but there's just literally no engagement there. I don't even think I have anyone on there anyway. I think it was just you and Matthew. Matthew's out. Matthew left. He's in out of the country right now. I'll be right back. Oh, looks positive. Yeah, I mean this is there's no reason to short at all. I mean, you want to scalp, you can. You know, you can get a scalp down to maybe the overnight high at 38s on the S&P and then the 150s on the NQ. It will probably revisit the overnight high from here. we're in a higher uptrend. I'm long right now. I mean, I just thing is I have my jigsaw dom over here. I'm long. I'm just sitting on a swing from last Friday, 74. I got long 650, and then I got long. I scaled down, added more at 674 on S&P, and I'm just down to a runner, and I'm just holding a swing. I'm looking for a re-entry, but somewhere to add to this trade, but it's not here. No, not yet. So right now I'm just chilling, waiting. NQ's on a rampage. You can probably scalp it long. I think the better one that's gonna give you an easier long entry is probably the Nasdaq. That one's like as a high correlation up right now. Just a ton of buying. Look at the delta positive out the ass. Even here, look at probably a lot of shorts having to cover too. This is where things have gone sticky the last few weeks. Well, actually, just the last week. We're about 10 points away. I think they want to bring it down to the overnight high on the NQ. There's a lot of... I don't normally see this many limit orders waiting to get filled on the NASDAQ. There's more on the NQ right now than there is on the S&P, which is really odd. Usually it's the other way around. You can see there's like a stack here, stack here. And S&P is kind of pretty balanced. They're everywhere. Damn, NQ even more, dude. Sheesh. There's no shorting this. dropping down. Yeah. 20%. You mean like you? What are you trading that you're up 20%? I'm assuming an option. Yes. Oh, okay. That your preferred way to trade is trading options. Take a stab. Okay. Daily, weekly. I'm assuming that was a daily option because 20% in that little dip. That's got to be a daily option. That's gonna be hard to trade from here. I think we're gonna have to wait till midday because we already have that. This is the chart above. Okay, these are 4 hour, right? You're above value. This is the value breakout. I was openly looking to get a dip to buy here, but at this point, the probability of them unwinding this whole move is very rare, right? You would have to see this whole thing wick down. So I think there's a probability we come down to maybe the overnight high, which is about what, here? And then that's just hard. I think currently, I mean, the best thing to do is just wait for the next 4 hour print. It might open up like this, like that. Add right here. Then it continues. I don't know. For now, the only thing I like is down here. Right here. Yeah, not so soon. I think, I mean, there's usually a dip around 7. Let's just say everyone's on different time zones. So let's just say 40 minutes after the open. 40, 45 minutes around 7:15. But it's not really a dip to fail, but a dip for a continuation. Going back here a little bit, looks like I got some sort of exhaustion. Thank you. Still pretty far away from the first standard deviation. This is really strange. I've never seen the NQ with this many limit orders all over the book. It's usually the S&P that looks like that. They're like completely opposites today. The NQ order book looks exactly like the S&P that it looks on any given day. See all these limit orders? Usually the S&P is the one that looks like that. Right now the S&P has none. Let's just put this one up. Yeah, the sellers are trying to hit the tape here on the S&P. You can see on the delta here. First times all morning, the last 10 minutes, they had some selling taking place here. Here between 50s. So this has been where they try to sell it off every week, or every week since last week. Will they fail or not is the question. Here's the zone, right? This whole area is where we've been selling off. We tapped here like 3 days last week, and we failed. Then right now they're trying to hit the tape here too again. There. Right. Here we'll print. Even dip buy won't be easy. No, not today. I think they'll make it easier. Give it a couple hours. Maybe as we head to Euro close, they might give something, or maybe there will be a catalyst. There's no red folder events today, but I honestly today's one of those days where you just sit and wait for a while. last Monday was the same. We gapped up, ran. Yeah, there's nothing on my folder today. But last Monday we gapped up, ran all morning, and we kind of consolidated, and then probably closer to Euro close midday is when they had a massive move. VIX is still at 19.5, so it's not like volatility's collapsed. We're so likely you can get a big move at some point today. Personally, I think that whatever big move, there's a seller stepping in right there. There's a right here someone's trying to re-offer right there at the where's the bid at offer right here, 500 lots at 49. I wouldn't make much of it. I don't really make much of those orders, but they definitely added to the book. Pretty size. Look, 1,200 lots right there at 40 at 50. And they just swallowed them up. But I mean, today's one of those days again. You just sit here for a few hours, and eventually they give you a play. Some people be tweaking, trying to find a trade right now, but you just need to chill, wait, relax. This week's pretty jam-packed. We have CPI earnings on the table this week. Last week we didn't really have much. Yeah, CPI on Friday. Oh. Then we have earnings Tuesday, Wednesday. On Friday I posted this. Bears are fucked. We're up 100 points from there already. Actually, it's this one. Figure it out. I can see the bears drawing their little crayon drawings. They're drawing their bear flag and their head and shoulders, and they reclaimed all of it. I was like, bears are fucked. Oh man. I think they want more. The NQ has so many limit orders above, dude. Look at hundreds of lots sitting on the offer on NQ. That's not normal. I don't see that a lot. zero print right here at 47 and a half. Time is it? They haven't even set the IB and they're still running. Oh, let the runner run. Alright, it's around that time when the pullback comes in right here, right at 7:15. I'm up. If they do it, it's around this time, right before the IB gets set. Just keep in mind, I'm not looking at short whatsoever. Okay, just saying the pullback comes around this time. I like a pullback to get long into. Or add to this position because I'm currently long already, as you can see on the DOM there. Yeah, sir, no short. No, please don't short this. If anyone's watching, don't short. I mean, I'm just not really saying what to do, but I don't advise shorting. At least not today, especially today. Right now, it just seems like it's a parabolic leg. Only other area now, if I really want to add, and I don't like this setup, but would be 30s or 730. Copy this drawing. Around there. So this profile is NQ, that's around the 130s as well. Like about right there. If we get a dip at some point between today and tomorrow, and we dip down to one, and the NQ specifically, if we come down into the 150s right here, and we hold, put in a failed breakdown, then good night, bears. I mean, this is coming to the all-time high. What it did is right now it re-auctioned higher. It reclaimed the prior value area before we broke down that Friday. And then now it needs to validate the reclaim. If it validates this reclaim of this profile, right, by coming down into it, breaking down, holding, and defending, then we're coming to 2300, 25,300, and then thereafter here. So that's a good long zone for the NQ if they get a dip down into this area and hold. Put in a trap and then squeeze back up. Zoe's coming for you guys right now, okay? Guys, are you almost ready? All right. Good mode is off here. And I try to put your stream on bigger screen. It says restricted mode, mature mode. What does that mean? Restricted mode is off, and here you go on bigger screen. Oh, you mean for yourself? I have, I just got this new setup, so I think the fact that I have everything on one screen, but I do have 3 additional monitors. They do have a footprint on the left, and then I have 2 other screens on the right. Means some mature content maybe trading is considered as mature. No way. That's funny. I wonder why it's classified as that. I think the setup is too attractive. That's what it is. My layout is just too good. Ezra, Harry, your mom's outside, okay? I got you your backpack, your corn books in there. I'll take those. Put on your shoes and go run outside, okay? Mom's already waiting. You can see the sellers are trying to step in here again. They should give them a dip into, man. I mean, this is not gonna go higher in one direction the whole day. That's for sure. Yeah, there it is. The tape's getting really active there. Kind of dip Baru right before the IB. 7:15. Look at that. And I'm speaking in times of Pacific time, my time zone. So 3 minutes, a little bit past that 17 frame is when they step in. I'm not gonna favor them in terms of how much downside they can get. Ideally, I wanted it to come down 20 points on the S&P. You know, come down to 730. 730 is overnight high. See if we can defend. If we do, then I would love to get long. That's where VWAP is currently too. Here's the footprint. Let me over. Whatever delta you see on the DOM, I have a footprint that reflects just all the delta. Pretty much only delta, and then any excess volume is in orange, and then blue is by delta. Anything that's over a certain amount. I don't want to see all the orders coming in on the footprint. I just want to see the most important orders. And it gives me context. And then the orange is really just to help me see when there's an abnormal amount of volume, higher than the average volume. Usually I'm going to see that during the open and near the end of the day, but if there's something like this near the midpoint of the day, then that's a tell. You get the orange, other overlays, but Kessler. Damn, what happened to Apple? Jeez. That was a massive failed breakdown. Just saw it right now. Up 2%. Blue Lemons up 1.3%. Jeez, they're having quite the banger of a day here. Wind Resorts. The tape slowed down a lot. Really dead now compared to where it was about 40, 50 minutes ago. It's gonna float higher. Supposed to look at one stock and I forgot what it was. Oh, CRM, that's what it was. Salesforce. All right, bro. This is honestly really boring session. I wish there was more I can comment and speak on, but this is trading, you know. Trading's boring most of the time. There's brief moments like last week where volatility is high and there's things to do here and there. Today's not one of those sessions. Sit, chill, wait, relax for the next setup. Right now I'm just looking at individual stocks. Patience, yeah, patience is one of the, I mean, discipline, patience, yeah, intertwined, but yeah, just patience, waiting for the, I can see the next setup. I just need to, I want it to come. I want it to come my way and work in my favor, but if it doesn't, I can't do anything. I just have to sit on my winner and wait. We're up $1,600, $1,700. You know, I got nothing to do here. Patience, one of those qualities that took me a very long time to develop as a trader. Very long time. I think the patience thing takes a while to develop because of lack of systems. I mean, if you don't have a defined strategy, the patience takes a while because you don't know what you're being patient for. You're just riding on all cylinders, trying to take every single movement on the market. You don't know which ones are yours and which ones are not part of your system. Just chill, wait, relax. Another fucking high, dude. I'm blown away and I'm fucking long already. I am like, what? Another high? How? This is crazy. This has just been straight up all morning. Been riding the first standard deviation all the way through and through. I don't think we're gonna stop until the NQ hits that 300 lot. There's a 300 limit order right here, pretty thick. I again, this is the thickest book I've ever seen on the Nasdaq. This is not common. The S&P is now thick here up to 65s, which lines up with where this is, the top end of this. 300 is the point of control with the Nasdaq, so it looks like it wants to revisit the point of control from 2 weeks ago. 300. There was someone there. He just took his law off. Right here. You see? He's back. Oh, and he's gone. And he's back. He keeps reloading and taking it on and off. Look, I'll show you on the dot. Here it is. Where is he at? 300? Yeah, right there. 200 lots on the NQ at 300. 273. He keeps taking it on and off. Look, he's gone and he's on. He's back, he's gone. Could be just my defa market. No, he's flashing the order. 289, 290, they're adding to it. I don't honestly like this last year. I don't know. I would say the last few months. I don't know how many months. I really would be lying if I knew how many months. But the Nasdaq order book has gotten thicker. like it's gone super thick in the last few months. It seems as though there's more activity going on in the Nasdaq that I've ever seen in the last since I've been watching the DOM for like the last 3 or 4 years. The DOM on the NQ has gone thicker. The limit orders and all the orders getting filled on the recent bid and ask, they've been thicker, like at least 2 to 3 times thicker. It's kind of crazy. It just happened this year. Oh, there's 265 about to tap. I've been watching the NQ and the S&P side by side for a few years, about 4 years now. And this is the thickest I've ever seen the Nasdaq trade. It's thicker sometimes than low volatility environments we've seen during like last December and earlier this year too. I don't know why that is. I'm up over 100 points on this fucking trade now. This neck sticks out. It clears 65s on the S&P. I don't know if this happens today. That seems like what are we at already? 1%? 0.8? Yeah, almost 1%. If they want a 1% day, they're gonna hit 6685. That's the point of control right here from last session from 2 weeks ago. Right here. 85s. If they really want to push today, I mean we're just about to set the we've already set the IB and we haven't broke it yet. But the break would the 85 is gonna be probably the target from here. They're trying to come in again. There are sellers again trying to hit the tape. We haven't broke the IB. No. So IB is set. We haven't broken the IB yet. Really 730. So if we get a pullback here from here, they might want to tag the zero prints here at 47. There's some zero prints there they can take if they do sell off from here. Zero print there, and VWAP's right over it, right here at 40. I want 30s. Right here. You come down here, I'm willing to rebid. Somewhere in this little area. Right there. We're still quite a ways from the 30 points on the S&P. Can happen in a blink on a dip. Or the NASDAQ comes down to 25,150. Like that zone too. That's quite a ways as well. About 130 points. That might not happen till maybe later today, if at all. Maybe tomorrow. VIX is dying again, and now it's below 19. They're about to break the IB high, can't cheat. Here's a sheet that I use for references. There's only two stats that I really use off the sheet, but they're here. Pretty good one. Don't know who made it. God bless their hearts, whoever did. Here it is. Here's a reference here. So the one I reference here is this one. Overnight session levels. What is the historical probability of price at least touching an overnight session level during the regular trading hours? This is very appealing. Overnight high or low touched. There's a 90% chance on any given session they're going to touch an overnight session level. Not both, one or the other. The probability of them touching both is a less than 20% chance. Or sorry, 25% or less, which means you have a general bias that you can come up with. You get long, right? You targeting the overnight high or low depending on your bias, and then your stop can be somewhere relative to the overnight low. There's a 20% chance, 25% chance or less you get stopped out. More often than not, right? Probability is we touch the overnight high. There's a 60% chance on any given day or more that we touch the overnight high. The other one is this one, the IB, which is why I keep referencing it. At least one IB broke. Initial balance. 90+% chance. 95. We haven't broken the IB yet. It's right here. IB high, IB low, whatever. Either one. And there's always a 30% chance, or 35% chance or more that the IB high breaks. So pretty interesting stats. I love this sheet. You know, two of them that I usually reference every day. which is why I have them annotated on my charts right here. IBH, ONH, IBL, IB high broke. Once this happens, once the IB high breaks and the overnight high or low breaks, I'm pretty much, for the most part, on any given day, I'm pretty much done for the day. Don't have any high quality targets that I can take in terms of like adding to a position or getting into a trade that will enable me to have a high quality target that I know statistically will hit on a 90% chance or more. So at this point, like given the IB broke, I don't really think I would like to get long or add to this anymore. If I do, it'd be way smaller size than I normally would be interested in. I was interested way more in the idea of not breaking the IB high, coming down to 30s, getting long there, and then targeting the IB high to scale out and then hold a runner for tomorrow. But now that this is broken, I mean, that target is no longer high probability. Therefore, my desire to want to add to this trade is not as high. If you think in terms of probability, it makes sense, but now I'm just chilling on it. Bro, this one micro is already up 500 bucks, really? Four. Yeah, let's see. 1278. Oh wow, I was. I didn't even realize it. Letting me know. I don't even know how much you guys got of that. I was talking about probabilities and so whatnot on the stat sheet. I'm not sure if that was missed. But thanks for letting me know. Yeah, that law was sitting there. This one right here. You see that gold and yellow? He was sitting there for a while since we were here. We were right here at 260, 250. He was sitting there waiting to get filled. I just filled him right now. Or just last few minutes. So I was discussing probabilities based on the statistical probability sheet that I have. I'm not sure if you guys got to hear that, but yeah. So target on the on the NQ, if it wants to correlate with the NQ, it's 85, 785, 780. Pretty slick, yeah. Yeah, it's something that I use daily. It's I mean, the whole sheet has more references you can look at. I personally only look at two. I look at the highest probability ones, and the ones that have that are more towards the general trend than anything else. But yeah, it's pretty. Once I found that sheet, I was like, God bless whoever made this, because it was really useful. Because it added a layer of conviction to my trading, and also a layer of like when I should and shouldn't be adding to a trade, based on like the probability of because any given day we have a risk. What's the probability of your target hitting is the most crucial for me if I'm adding to a position. Like if I'm adding more to the trade from yesterday or even intraday, what is the historical probability that my target will be hit? Is it 50%, 60%, 30%, 90%? I didn't know before. And now that I know that there is a tendency of there being an 80, 90% chance of my positioning giving me more profit, and not only can I have more conviction, but I can also have better stop loss placement from the other side of that statistic. I think they want 80s on S&P too. That's my target. I have it up here on my TOS chart. 85 target from the major reclaim up here at 6. Yeah. It's just kind of nuts the way they're doing it, I will say. I'm a little thrown back. Well, I did nothing, bro. I've done nothing so far. I mean, I really wish I would have been able to do something, but here's the P&L still sitting at $1,707. Holding the position I have already. It's for the path we take. Well, I know my plan for tomorrow, that's for sure. It's very simple. Assuming none of this really unwinds completely, tomorrow's plan is really simple. Uh, as it relates to the NASDAQ, right? Tomorrow, the NASDAQ's pretty simple. It's right here. This is where the tomorrow's reference is. The breakout. Is this breakout real? If it's real, then we want to rebid here, right? On a failed breakdown. This whole zone right here, where we rejected last week, right? The rejection came in here multiple times. During the overnight session, we consolidated right under it. Today we opened right at it, right above it. Right here you can see the open. The open was here, and we immediately ran past it all. So tomorrow, the question is, on a rebid, on a reoffer, or on a revisit, let's just say, on a retest, better said, for common terms, on a retest of this entire zone, do we put in a failed breakdown and continuation? That's pretty much it for tomorrow, right? Or later today. I don't know if that happens today, though. It seems a little excessive, but tomorrow, that's my plan right there. S&P 730. We'll see what that is. I need to give the S&P some more time, but yeah. This rally is leaving behind a lot of poor structure. A lot of poor structure. So it's very, very likely, I don't know when, that we retrace at some point this week. I never know when, but they retrace this thing because there's a lot of poor structure underneath. Well, anyone own any individual stocks? Palantir and index. All right. What's the cost basis on the Palantir? That's a crazy stock, bro. Hey, dude, look. They raised the offer right there. Now at 80s. Very, very low. Well, what's very low? That's relative. $7, 10, 20, 60 is low. Like, if you tell me 60, that's very, very low. You know? Single digit? Oh, okay. That's really low. 1000% gain for sure. Index like VOO or SPY, QQQ. Was in this business. Ah, okay. VOO, good. You know, it's interesting. Like, there's been a lot more volume into VOO in the last year or two than there is the SPY in terms of passive inflows. Was in this business, realized really. Well, that's great, man. That's awesome. What Peter Thiel says, you know, you have an edge if you are in a business that you see things others do not. You know, very famous saying that individual people have an edge in the market. They see things that Wall Street cannot because they work in the industry. Whatever industry that is, it's always relative. Dude, this isn't gonna stop until it hits 80 or what? This has just been nonstop all morning, bro. It's kind of nuts. I'm long again. I'm long, but I'm tired of winning. What did Trump say? You're gonna get tired of winning? I'm tired. I mean, give me some action, dude. I don't even care if it drips on me. You know, I don't care about. I'm not gonna lock this in anyway. I'm not gonna close this position here. I just want to see some volatility, is all. Now I feel like I took those 20% too early. I mean, you know, yes and no. You had a plan. Did you trade based on that entry and exit criteria? And if not, then it's fine, you know. Like, I could tell you right now, Friday when I got long 650 on the futures, I sold some of it and I scaled out, right? And then I added more at 70s at 674, and then I sold it too early. Like, I should have held it for 1520s, and I sold most of that position by 699, so 700, and then another set at 710, and I should have just held it, you know. But my plan was to scale where it was, and I did according to the plan. It's fine. I do it too sometimes, you know. It's always gonna happen. That's a guarantee of the market. They're always gonna sell too early. An offer right there on NQ there. That went away. Bit too much. Oh man. Yeah, I agree, Benji. And the book got all balanced too. Look at the S&P. It's thick as hell. That wasn't like this in the morning. It's super thick in both ways now. What is it? Oh, we're going to Euro close maybe. And we were up 1% on the day. Crazy. Where's VWAP at? 44? 744. Maybe it's a mark. Why is it not marked? There you go. Alright. 744 is VWAP. $42. Is that I don't know. I'm trying to find a plan here to add to this trade, but I don't see it right now. I think I'm gonna be able to do that. We get a dip to 40 to VWAP. I'm trying to see where that is in relation to, you know, any reference levels that I like, such as whether that's the value area, which it lines up. VWAP's right with value area lowest for the session, but I wouldn't like that. I mean, maybe only way I would like it is if we tap the value area high 730 from overnight, and then we reclaim back to above 42. I don't really see that happening either. If it does, that would be okay for a rebid. Essentially like a failed breakdown, right? We sell off like this under the first variation, fail, come down here, try to put in a bounce, probably fail, hit the overnight high right here, that value area right here, right? And then oops, and then reclaim back above the VWAP for the session, and then I would add there on the reclaim. This reclaim here after it tested this and validated it. Tested that, reclaim 42, get real long, and then add, and then scale somewhere up here at 60s. It would have to test the value area high from overnight, reclaim the value area low from this current session, which is also VWAP, and then I would be interested in adding. IB test, retest. I do not like a retest ad of the IB. No, sir. It's a good trade for a scalp if you want it, but I'm not gonna. No, there's no reason to be. I would not be interested here. There's not much value to extract, right? Like your long is near the point of control. My VWAP's at 56. Mine's from overnight, so the start of trading hours. The full session, pretty much, from overnight, from not overnight, but the start of the open from the trading hours. The thing about the VWAP is that sometimes the 9:30 start works, and then sometimes the full session one works. It really varies. I've tested both. I just prefer the one from overnight, starting of the trading hours, over the start at open. I see over time that most times it lines up with the references that I use to trade. As you can see here, it lines up with the value area low of the current session. Right. Yours is at 56, so it's right here. which doesn't line up with anything I'm referencing outside of point of control for the session. And I don't ever want to be long near point of control, right? Unless I have high conviction. Point of control is not really a good reference for me. So I mean, it just varies how you trade. I've tested both. I just prefer that one, the other one. Everyone does their VWAP differently. Some people use the anchor VWAP, anchor it to whatever, you know. I don't know. People have different ways of trading, but that's the way I use it. Starting from, again, like the startup. Yeah, right there. Seems like we're gonna get a dip here. The tape is slowing down. It seems like some exhaustion is taking place. I mean, we've gone straight up for the since they opened. We're going into Euro close here. Typically, that's when you get some more volatility, a little bit of volatility. That's gonna be in about 15 minutes. Yeah, no problem. It also works better with my with my with the first standard deviation that I use. Here's another reference that lines up. So on my footprint, there's VWAPs at 44, and then you have a 0 print. Oh, what am I trying to? You see that VWAPs at 45, 44. There's a 0 print at 47. It's another reference that you can target if you're short or looking to see how it reacts once it fills. So there's a few references here. I don't have any references, like any layers of confluence at 56. I have a couple here. 47 is another confluence there. They're adding to the book here. Look at this. Someone put an offer in. Oh, they got filled. 800 lots right there. Or like around 700. You can see the bubble put in on the map there that someone filled. There's the IB high. It's kind of slow. It doesn't look like it's going to break down, man. Could accelerate here. tape's kind of slow, man. I'm watching the Jigsaw tape. That one's a little cleaner, but still pretty slow. Yo, what in the world? Apple's up 4%? I saw it like less than an hour ago. It was only up 2. What happened? Upgrade of stock to 315. Base iPhone sells nearly twice as fast as 16 in China. Okay. They're just getting good iPhone sales, huh? Crazy. What's up with Lululemon? Why is it up too? Gotta stay consistent, man. Yo, Celsius, bro. What a winner, man. That stock blew out. It's not Palantir, but it's Rubric. Oh, there's an offer right there, 400 lots. A lot of big lots we've seen today. There's not as many as Friday, that's for sure. Friday there were so many all over the fucking book. On Friday there were so many sellers trying to keep price down below 6,700. They were all over the book, and I think today they got squeezed out. It's probably why we saw such a parabolic leg at the open. They got pushed away. Kind of recap that on the I think I have You can see that there was offer. Oops. Right here, here. I mean, you can see they're all over the book on Friday. Look at them. Everywhere. There was a few bids at the lows, but they're all over the book on Friday. And today they're wrecked. You guys aren't getting ads, right? You shouldn't have any ads. I don't know if they're. I post if any. I'm putting. I put no monetization. Kind of annoying watching stream and ads in the middle. Me explaining something. They won't fill that lot right there. They're trying to fill him, but I don't know if he's selling right underneath, if it's just an iceberg. Look, someone loads underneath him. Okay, they filled a few. 100, no, 90. They filled a few more. Filled a few, it filled only 3/4 of it. There's still another 100 lots left. But he's there. There's someone there trying to keep the book down. My assumption is that he was advertising here and then also selling below that too. You see. This is non-stop, brother. You know, I think I'm gonna end the day here doing nothing today. We have another 4-hour print that's gonna take place in about still another hour and a half into the close. Possible that I might not have an entry until later part of the day into the close. This doesn't really pull back meaningfully enough for me to rebid. There's 2-0 prints. Very mechanical action here. So they put in 2-0 prints. It's probably going to be a mechanical sell-off if it comes down right now. Look at this footprint here. Right? You have 2-0 prints. You have some. Why is my drawing tool not working on this one? Alright, whatever. You have 2-0 prints. You have 73 and 71. That means many mechanical selling there. And it's also near the Valor high. So it's possible we might come down from here. If these 0 prints hold, then we probably come down to 50s. Which is point of control. A lot of mechanical action happening right at the 70s. So the you know, is micro ES influenced by no. So here's the thing, like I wouldn't say the micro does not influence the mini, and the mini is not even influenced by its own right. Like the futures is simply a reflection of the SPX. The SPX is a reflection of all the individual stocks within the S&P 500. So the real influence is from the individual tickers. Maybe after hours there's a little bit of a disconnect, you know, during ETH, but I think during regular trading hours there's more of a correlation with individual stock performance than there is the actual orders or of the index overall. Because you gotta understand that the S&P moves based on it's an index, it's a tracking instrument. It tracks stocks. It doesn't move and then move stocks with it, right? It's the other way around. So there's a misconception that I personally don't think that the orders and the minis influence anything. I think the stocks influence the flow of the futures, and the futures, they just follow that. Because if the SP ES and then the NQ are just reflections of the index that it tracks. But micro ES influenced by mini. But actually, I didn't read the question right. So yes, micro moves with the mini. Yes, micro influenced by ES. Yes, they trade one and the same. And then the mini by the full there is no full contract for the mini. It's just mini. There's nothing bigger than the mini. But the ES mini moves based on the SPX or S&P, whatever you want to call it. And then those, you know, the S&P SPX moves based on individual stocks. You see, there's another zero print again. See if that one holds. But yeah, look, they keep doing the same thing. Another zero print right there. That's 3 already. Mechanical action happening right at a value area high. Right here, watch. This is a value area high. Right here. This is textbook exhaustion. You got a mechanical high. I asked because I watched the DOM, the micro, and you watched the mini, and I didn't see the 400 lots. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they're gonna trade different volumes. You know, they're gonna have different volumes. I watched the mini DOM, but I trade on the micro DOM. So you're gonna see. Look, here's another. There's okay. So they cleared that one. By no means am I gonna take this trade. I like just observing the market and seeing what happens. But this is mechanical zero prints here. 2 back-to-back. If exhaustion hits the tape, then we should revisit point of control, which is 63 as of right now. I asked because I watched it. Oh, okay. Yeah, they're gonna have different volumes. The thing, I don't know what software you use, but you can have you can trade the micros, but have the data from the minis. That's what I have. Watch. So if you go back to my main screen here, you can see it says MES data ES. So the data is from the ES, but the contracts I'm trading are the micros. Yeah, I think this is a short. I'll try it for funsies here. I have another account on this one here. I'll take it with 2. The thing is, the downside is not very high. It's not very good. There. I gotta change the color of that. 7. The invalidation is if they clean up those 0 prints, 73. So my stop would be like right here at 74, somewhere like that. Use Sierra too. You can change it so that way you can look at the mini data but have the micros trading. You would go, you know how to do it, right? change these colors. Oh my god, it's really ugly. It's my eyes. How do I change it? So again, it's just the mechanical highs. 0 prints at a valley or high. I'm long over here. It's just taking a short on this one here. See how only 2 micros. Just to test it for fun. Value 63. Yeah, you have a video on mechanical trades. I have no idea what it is. No, I don't actually. I actually don't have any videos on mechanical trades. I can make some, I guess. This could be this could be an example of that, I guess, maybe. But let me. I guess I can make a video on it. There's another 0 print now. 71 and a quarter, 71, 75, 73, 25. There's 3 of them now at the same area. These are more like scalps, which I'm not a fan of. You know, I don't really like taking these trades. First time hearing the term. It's more of like a TPO time-based reference. Like it's you'll hear some traders reference it. It's not a very common thing. You're not going to see videos on it on YouTube. I don't think you'll see a video on it on YouTube. I mean, if there is, I'd be surprised. It's more of like Jim Dalton kind of like auction market theory concept. Not really that many videos on it, I don't think. Something you read in a book. Then you would see it in there. Or from 71.25. Oh, okay. Again, I'm trying it. The tape is dead. It's pretty slow. There's mechanical. There's these 0 prints at the highs. We're at valley or high for the current session. There may be a reversion to the mean. Point of control is the most obvious target on that instance, based on auction market theory, right? Which is 63, which isn't the best. Again, I don't like that kind of risk reward, but they could extend it to 56 or so. We'll see. I'm gonna manage this trade based on how this moves from here. But you can see here 3-0 prints. Still haven't, right? They're trying to push way above into it. You can see all the buy delta there too, clustered in there, trying to push up. It's just these traders have symptoms, right? These setups have like symptoms. The symptom number 1 is, well, yes, it's always like proximity. Where are we in relation to the auction? Are we near a high or a low? If you're near high or low, this is where the trades make the most sense. And then, because the invalidation is pretty tight. And then you have the tape, the DOM, starts to die down. Like, I've been watching the tape all morning. It's the slowest it's traded all morning, right? So then you have exhaustion. Then you have the 0 prints showing up. The 0 prints are mechanical action, meaning there's not a lot of participation, individualized market participation to push prices higher. The price becomes mechanical and you start to see 0 prints, right? Unfinished auctions, whatever you want to call them. There's different terms for all this crap. I hate the fact that there's so many words to describe one thing, but they're unfinished auctions essentially. They're unfinished auctions, which are mechanical highs. You know, depending on where you come from, In terms of trading, if you're a TPO based trader, you're going to call them mechanical highs. If you're an order flow trader, you're going to call them unfinished auctions. There's different terms for this crap, and I hate it because I can use the same term for the same thing, and then I can confuse somebody. But essentially, you're near a value or high or low for the session. The DOM starts to slow down. Like I said earlier, it was really slow. And then you start to see the zero prints. Then you have a reversion from the auction, right? It's like this. Let's see. I'm gonna draw this as an example. This is an auction, right? This is this auction right here, but you essentially have this, right? You've seen this before if you've seen auction market theory. Value or high, value or low. We're gonna rebalance into somewhere around this area, right? Right here, to find more orders to fill, to find more participants to trade with. If this fails up here, right? Now where that is, I think you'll see it on the tape. Activity will pick up relatively quickly once you see the market gets rebalanced. Because the tape will start to pick up. You'll see a lot of orders start to trade, and that's where the exit is. About Tuesday. Oh, we got another answered question here. It says no. Oh, we got 4 votes. We got more yes. Nice. No. The tape is picking up a little bit in pace, not a lot. I gotta change that color. Ugly. Our trade is. Not change. Gotta change the color, but I can't figure out which one it's saying. Tape's waking up a little bit. It's more active than it was. See where my footprint's at. Go fluorescent. Which one is it? God damn it. I can't change the colors here. Bar trading. Order fills. Trading order. Huh. I'll figure it out later, I guess. Like a fluorescent green. Where the hell is it at? Pardon. There's another zero print. No, it's the same one. It just moved over. When did you start using Sierra? You know what? I've been trying to build this out for like freaking almost a month. So I would say at least since last week. A little bit under. Since last week. I've been working on this for like 3 to 4 weeks now. It's not done yet, but it's now where I can use it. Not have to rely on Jigsaw. I do still have Jigsaw open. I mean, I have the DOMs open for Jigsaw. I'm gonna eventually phase this out and transition to Sierra, but I have a position open on my Jigsaw DOM from Friday. I'm long. I'm holding a position here, and then I shorted right now on the S&P on another account, just 2 micros. I'm not really in love with the idea at all. Just wanted to use it for to explain a trade really too and walk through it. As like I said, it's a mechanical. Look at another zero print. No, it's the same one. They put another one in right now, but I doubt this one stays at 69.5. You see the zero there. It got cleaned up. See, I wouldn't think that one holds. But I would say like this a week, give or take. I like it so far. I wish the DOM was better. I'm sure I can do some things to make it better. I've tried some things so far. I might have to put it on its own instance. But if you ever get into Sierra, I mean, I like it. It just takes a very long time to set up. If you have a specific layout in mind. This took me weeks to do. And I dedicated like my whole weekends, nights to doing this. And it's still not done, but it'll get done. I still need to change a few things. I'll probably end up doing a review on it later. Do you use big trades? Not really. Not really. I use them to target. About it. You know, I use big trades? Not really. I just use them to target levels. They cleaned up 2 0 prints there. And there's a third one at 73 and a quarter. At that point, I'll just stop out. My stop's right above it. I don't really care about all those orders, man. Thanks for sharing, though. I think I have the same ones. They're on my chart, too, right here. I think I have one here, here, here. And then on Friday, I use them to draw context. Again, on Friday, I used all the orders that were sitting, that were getting executed. I used them as a way to draw context to be long. Look at all the selling on Friday. All right, all the selling on Friday got me long. I use it to draw context, but I wouldn't say I use them to give me direction in favor of. They're about to clear up that 3 1/4. They clean it up. Yeah, the NQ is breaking out. Oh wow, I didn't just realize that. It's about to hit high of day on NQ. And they cleaned it up. They cleaned up all the 0 prints. Look at now they're gone. Let me see. Put up this here. All the 0 prints are gone now. Cleaned up. I'm gonna maintain my stop where it is, but they cleaned them all up. NQ's breaking out with volume. Look at that, 300 lots. My oh my. They made another 0 print. Let's see if this one holds. They put another one in right there at 73.5. I'm gonna add to this if this ends up coming below 68. If it gets below 68, kind of where my entry is. It starts to fade down there. I'm gonna add to this trade and keep my stop where it is. But if it takes me out, then I'm probably just not gonna take anything. Oh, they cleaned up that 0. And my stop's about to trigger right there. Right there, right there. Almost. Oh, look at that. They're selling it. What happened? They almost hit my stop by a tick. And they came back. If we get below 68 again, I'll add to this trade. But other than that, the reason we're pushing again is NASDAQ just made a new high of day. Just look at, you can clearly see the divergence between the two. You can see that the S&P high is here, NQ high is here. Oh, they're really selling right here. Oh man, I added more right there. Did they feel me? No, they didn't. Add more. There we go. There it is. Like, what the fuck? I don't know what happened when that volatility came in, but it didn't hit my stop. You saw it. It came by almost by a tick. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna manage the little ad that I had. It has to hold below 68, which is for the first standard deviation. You see as STD1. If it holds below that, I like it for a tap down lower. Looks like some sort of volatility is coming in here. My stop has to be up here, same spot. So let me adjust this one. There you go. So yeah, we'll see what happens. They're trying to defend the dip here. But I personally think we get a reversion a little lower. We have zero print at 47 and I think 3/4. Let me see. 47 and a half. Give me a sec. Gotta take. Oh. All right. Point of control is where now? It's right where we're at, honestly. 63, yeah. We're at 60. We almost hit 63. I don't like these kind of trades, but where should be point of control is always the main area. It's just a reversion trade. The thing is, like, they're not the best. I'm gonna put it right here. Looking, I put it here. I'm gonna have 2 scales because I added 2. But point of control, you just work. The idea is this, okay? Are you a full-time trader now? What does that even? What does that ever mean? I full-time trade. Yes, I'm watching the markets, executing trades, commenting on the market, literally 24 hours a day. So I mean, I don't know what your definition of a full-time trader is, but I fucking live and breathe this shit every hour of every day. And I comment on Twitter. I comment on Substack. I'm live 3 to 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I mean, I guess. I don't know. What kind of question is that? I don't. How do you answer that? Everyone's definition is different, I guess. Here's the so here's the idea here, Mr. V. Again, exhaustion takes place here. The target is always where balance is, point of control. So where is point of control for this current session, right? And that's the thing, is like, it's got to be a wider auction for this to be a great worthwhile trade. Point of control is right here at 63, right where the IB is, which is where my take profit is at 63. The other area I'm targeting is going to be where that 0 print is. Just as a runner at this point. They filled me. There it is. They filled me. So they filled me on the first set right there at 63. And then 60 is, there's a 300 lot there. I'm going to probably target somewhere around there on that dip or whatever. It could go lower. Here's the other thing that I could go to. There's a 0 print right there at 47 and a half that we can come into. You know, you can manage the trade how you please to target that, but I personally would just be taking it right at the 60 lot where there's a resting bid. There's a resting bid here. 60. We'll see if they fill them or not, but only because I don't really want to be in this trade. Again, I'm already long. I'm not really interested in shorting, right? I'm long and I'm looking to add to my long. I'm not looking to really be short. So there it is. They hit me at 1 here at point of control at 63. They bounced it as soon as they tapped it. 63. They hit 62 and a half. And again, 63. There's not like I came up with this number. It's just the point of control. Well, that's it. I'm going to call it a day here. You know, I'm gonna call it a day here. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll comment. I mean, if I comment again, it's Twitter or Substack. There's the 2 places I comment all day. I watch the market all day long. I just don't stream all day long, or if at all. Just boring to be streaming, honestly. But I'll be back tomorrow. Holiday here. Literally, there was nothing to do all day long until right now, and it played out for like 7 points, just kind of whack. Yeah, 63. There you go. See, so that was a good exit. Yeah, it's literally the low of the current rotation. I'm looking at scale out 2 right there, 63 and a quarter, if it fills me. I'm just gonna call it a day. If it comes down, I gave my bull thesis right where I'm looking to bid is right here. This is my bull thesis for either tomorrow or later into today, depending on where we dip, if we dip further. But I'm waiting for this to trigger more than anything, and it doesn't seem like right now is the time for that. So I'm gonna step away and call it a day. I'll put price alerts, and if we come down, then I'll be adding to my long. And the long I'm referencing is this one here from Friday at 674 on the ES. Just sitting on a runner micro. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for anyone who tuned in.